Hi, it's Michael here from Custom Biofit, and in this video I'm going to show you 3 ways that you can get your hands high, a high hand position on a Giant Trinity or a liver valve. Essentially they're the same bike. Okay, standard front end on the Trinity. The base bar, the front end of the bike, actually falls away very slightly. So you've got these ski extensions and they do nothing. Your hands end up very, very low. The other thing I'm not particularly a fan of on this bike are the arm cups. They don't hold you. So we want to change the arm cups, we want to change the extensions, or the angle of the extensions and the arm cups at a minimum. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Alright, this is my first solution, and it's using Profile Design products. And I'll give you a closer look. Alright, what I've done at the front of the bike here is I've placed a Profile Design Aerobar armrest wedge on top of the Giant Trinity clamp. It's a 15-degree wedge, and on top of that wedge is an Ergo Plus armrest. I tend to find these work better for guys with bigger forearms, and then for if you slide through the forearm, or the ladies, it's a Race Plus, which is slightly higher cup, or deeper cup I should say, and narrower. And what I've done with the extensions to create this high hand position is I've used a Profile Design 35A for alloy extension, and I've flipped them around. Okay, so what you typically find with the Giant Trinity, because of the cabling, is that you have to use, to extend the length, you need to use a couple of connectors and additional Di2 cables from Shimano. So there's about $150 worth of cost there in those cables and connectors. But this will create a high hand solution on a Trinity or a liver valve. And this works really well in a scenario where you've got Shimano Di2 synchro shifters, these single button synchro shifters, because the cabling route through this base bar is a pain in the butt, and those single button shifters allow you to disconnect at the shifter, and it means you don't have to recable the front of the bike. Right, this is another way, the second way to get a high hand position on a Trinity, and the key component here is this wedge, this 15-degree wedge from a company called Speed Metrics. I've been using these for a few years now, and typically these are built to order. So the wedge sits underneath the armrest clamp. It actually clamps into the armrest, and then what you do is you have your spacers underneath, and you bolt through the base bar through the spacers and into the clamp. This really works well in a scenario where you've got a cabled front end, mechanical front end, where you don't want to start pulling cables out. With Di2, it's a lot easier. Other options are a lot easier, but this works, again, whether it's Di2, whether it's mechanical, this solution will work. This is the key component, this 15-degree wedge. These aren't the standard extensions that you get on the Trinity, but they're very similar. And the Trinity armrests, as I've said before, are terrible. I've changed these particular ones out for the Race Plus armrests, and I'll show you what those look like as well. Alright, that's the Race Plus armrest. Very popular from Profile Design. You can see next to it is the Ergo Plus. You can see the difference. You can see the difference in the height of the cup, the depth of the cup. Right? Very similar design, they're the same length, they take the same armrest pad, shallower, better for a bigger forearm, deeper, better for someone that has a slight forearm. I would use these. A lot of the pros, for example, that I see would use this. Alright, this is the third high hand solution for the Giant Trinity and the liver valve. And I've got obviously here a liver valve. They have exactly, well not exactly the same, but the same type of cockpit. They use the same bridge, they use the same spacers, and it's the same spacing for those spacers and bridge. So the parts are interchangeable. And what we're using here is a fast TT Aerobar, so one-piece cup and pole. And the major components here are this angle adjustable block, which goes from 10 to 25 degrees. That gives us the tilt, and we have adjustability there. And then these one-piece cup and pole from Fast TT. These come in two finishes. This is the gloss black. They also do a carbon weave. And I'll show you these components in a bit more detail in a second. So these are the Fast TT Aerobars. I've got a set here, but I've split them up. We've got on the right side the gloss black, and on the right side we have the Garmin mount, and on my left here I've got a carbon weave, just so you can see the difference in the finishes. They're both beautiful, it just depends on your preference. And the cables can be routed fully internally, they can be routed externally, depends, or externally and internally, depending on the type of shifters that you have. They'll mount on most bikes, but for the Trinity, obviously we have these. You can see there's plenty of holes here. There's a bracket that comes and it fits onto the adjustable block, but they're really easy to fit, and I'll show you that adjustable block right now. This is the adjustable block, and you can adjust this angle from 10 degrees to 25 degrees. You just take it to where you want. These are actually set at 20 degrees, and you just lock it off. And you can see it's fit here on top of the original armrest, or sorry, extension clamp for the liver valve. It's giving a little bit of extra height. This particular client not only wanted to change the cockpit, but wants to be in a bit more of a relaxed position in the front, so we built the front end of the bike up a bit. But adjustable block, this is the key component, the adjustable block. The bars, which come with some mounting plates, the mounting plate sits on top of here, and Fast TT are about to make an adapter plate to sit directly on top of here, which will then allow you to put a hydration system in the middle as well. They do make adapter plates for most bikes, not for the Trinity liver valve now, but it will be available in a few weeks' time. Okay, so if you are riding the liver valve or the Giant Trinity, I hope you found this useful. 3 ways to get your hands higher. If you're interested in knowing more about how you can bike fit yourself, I've just released a course called Bike Fit Yourself Triathlon, and if you go down into the description of this video, you'll find a link to a landing page. The 3 main objectives of the course are: number 1, to teach you how to set your cleats, set your saddle height, set your aero bars, those types of things, how to make the best out of what you currently have, and then how to, when you're ready, make changes to the bike to change your position over time. You might, for example, want to go to a high hand position down the track. What components are you going to need to achieve that? So these types of videos, and also reviews on products that are currently available and that will be available over time. Where do they fit into my triathlon journey? Things like aero bars, hydration systems, storage systems. Are they any good? Are they going to fit on my bike? That type of thing, so that you can be more empowered, more knowledgeable, and also save yourself some time and money. Hopefully I'll see you in that course.